All right, folks, ladies, gentlemen, and transgendered friends, my name is Josh Bashinsky, and welcome to the SEO plus AI show. Today I'm joined by a friend of the show, Ryan Mazie. Say hi there, Ryan.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all again. Thanks for having me on, Josh.
It's my pleasure, my friend. If you've never seen the SEO plus AI show before, we are the finest show on the interwebs about SEO and AI. SEO and AI is the place to be. AI is the new hot thing, and it is for a reason because right now it can generate text very easily. It can do a lot of SEO tasks very easily. And not only this, but you can automate things and do SEO in an intelligent way with AI. And so it's definitely the place to be. Today, we're going to be talking about legal SEO, how AI can help with legal SEO, how AI will hurt legal SEO, how AI can help you build out law sites, and how AI should not be used to build out law sites. So Ryan is a local guru and has been doing a lot of legal SEO and law SEO as well. So that's why Ryan is here today. We're going to get into it. Before we do that, let me quickly check the show. Ryan Mazie, I'm actually broadcasting. That's good.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see
There we go. There, I'm broadcasting. Fantastic. Sorry, that audio you heard was the broadcast going on. So if you are watching live, please, or if you're not watching live, first off, if you're not watching live, why not? You should be. If you watch live, you can ask questions. If you watch live, you can ask questions on the live broadcast on the right-hand side over there somewhere, probably, I think, or there. I don't know, probably over there. You could ask questions live if you're watching any SEO questions at all. We take any and all SEO questions while we're doing the show live. So go ahead and click the like and subscribe and the bell buttons and all that kind of stuff down there to know when we're going on live, so you can ask any SEO questions that you want. Also, if you're, I'll also give this video after we're done the live recording to my wonderful video producer, Raluca, and she will edit it up and cut it up for an edited version that you can also watch later on. If you like and subscribe, you can see when that comes on. We also cut shorts out, so you can just watch the shorts if you're wanting to see smaller bits. And you can ask questions there too if you want in the description. Under the description, you can ask questions in the comments. And you can always email me at joshbachinsky@gmail.com for any SEO questions that you might have. So today we're dealing with legal SEO. So you might be like, well, how can AI help with legal SEO? A more important question to ask might be, how can AI hurt legal SEO? You have to be very careful, of course. And so I wore my best sweater today to make myself look as professional as possible talking about legal SEO. I should, of course, give the proviso, I am not a lawyer in any way, shape, or form. I'm not giving any legal advice on this show, nor do I ever give any legal advice. Officially, this show is a parody for entertainment purposes only. And so that's what I will say about that. But today we're going to be talking a lot about legal SEO, law SEO, some of the do's and don'ts, some of the pitfalls in general, and of course, how you would use AI for legal SEO. A little sip
Exciting.
of the Zevia, the Zevia organic tea. Today's show is sponsored unknowingly. It's not sponsored at all by this company, by Zevia, who makes an organic sweetened hibiscus passion fruit tea. It's quite nice. I'm liking it. Okay, so Ryan, I know you've done law SEO and legal SEO for a while. Do you want to chime in with kind of your 2 cents about, on a high level, what you think about that, and what would your thoughts be?
So it's getting more complicated as like time comes on, and AI is like becoming a big asset in what people are using to go for it. One of the famous examples like bringing up is that there was a lawyer in New York who used ChatGPT to write a some sort of legal document,
Right.
and it made it some citations
Right.
that did not exist, and he got called out pretty much. And so it's always important to say that AI is really important. It's starting to get its way into legal, but there's a big onus on like if it creates something that's legit and authenticated. So if you post it on a site, one, you don't get like legally at risk for it. I'm using AI in some ways to help with planning out the content, seeing what might be good things to write about. But there's still an all onus that the quality of the content needs to be really good. It needs to be like provide meaningful help to the user. And AI sometimes doesn't quite scratch that niche. or scratch that itch as well as it should. But I mean, it's coming along, like it's getting there slowly.
Right. And when you say you're using it, you mean your agency is using it. You run an agency that
Yeah,
does a bunch of local SEO, including law SEO.
correct.
Yeah, that was I'm glad you mentioned that because I had forgotten about that. Yes. So here's one of the problems of the large language models that are running right now. So AI is a giant kind of umbrella topic. One of the areas of AI, the hottest one right now, because it's the one that the public is all going and finally seeing kind of the advantages of AI and what AI can do, is LLMs or large language models, like ChatGPT, like Cloud 2, like Palm, like Lambda, like BERT. These transformer large language models that take a straight text prompt in, like give me a web page on how to be a lawyer, and it spits out a text on how to be a lawyer, and I put that in the giantest scare quotes ever, as Ryan just mentioned. But the problem with these large language models is that they are not self-aware yet, unless you make them, build them to be self-aware, which I'm working on another project called Cassandra to do that. With my philosophy and psychology background, that's where my MA and my PhD comes in for what I was doing there. But they're not yet, right? They're not self-aware in any way, shape, or form. They don't know what they're saying. They're just a parrot that's just spitting out the words they heard based on the trigger you've given it. So people in the industry call that hallucinating. And hallucination is even to personify the model. It's not hallucinating. It's just a statistical replacement of the words you give it. If you say, write me a web page on how to be a lawyer, it goes out there for all the synonyms of how to be a lawyer web page and makes all the synonyms of what that would be. It knows that, okay, you mean the style of web page, whatever that is. It has a whole bunch of style considerations added to that. And then the topic is how to be a lawyer. And it has a bunch of words related to that statistically. And it'll just spit them all out in a cogent fashion because it understands the subject predicate relationships. Again, from all the subject predicate sentences, the trillions and trillions of subject predicate sentences it's read, it knows how to make subject predicate sentences in general, and it knows how to do that on the topic of how to be a lawyer in particular, in the style of a web page in particular. And it can even put HTML in there because it's been fed HTML. It's been fed tons of programming examples. It could do Python. It could do HTML. It could do JavaScript. It could do a whole bunch of stuff. It's just translating. It's like translating French into English. It knows, bonjour is good day. Bon, good, jour, day. It knows that means good day. It just does a one-to-one shift, a translation, not only on the words, but in the phrasing as well. It knows like this phrase here means this phrase here. It'll just do a translation statistically of what the corpus it was fed, or the corpora is plural of corpus, it was fed. So how does this apply to legal SEO, Josh? Well, as Ryan just mentioned, very importantly, it applies to legal SEO. Because in legal SEO, you always have to be careful when you're doing SEO for any kind of a client. Because we SEOs, we're not subject matter experts. We don't, as I said down on my thing here, I'm not a lawyer, right? Josh, I'm not a lawyer, Bashinsky. We SEOs, we're not subject matter experts. We don't know anything about roofing. We don't know anything about plumbing. We don't know anything about, we start to learn by doing it again and again and again, but we don't know anything about law, especially. That's like a 7-year degree. I did my MA and PhD in philosophy and psychology. I know about that. I don't know, and I know about SEO because I've been doing that for 25 years. That's why I made money. If you're a graduate student, you don't make any money. You know how I paid for all those things? SEO. That's how I paid for all those things. So I could talk about these things at a high level. I can't talk about cases. I don't know how to cover my butt. I don't know what to say. And so when you're doing law SEO, whether you're using AI or not, here's the first pro tip. You got to be really, really careful about what it is you say. For example, some things I've learned. Now, there's differences between Canadian law and American law and UK law. So yeah, as Ryan just said. So do you have any specific examples there, Ryan? Or I just see you're shaking your head vigorously.
I have one of my clients I work with is in the Canadian criminal law in Calgary, and then I have a criminal law firm down in Rhode Island. And there's definitely some differences in things that they have told me that we had to do for compliance. Like for example, how you mention the name of a company, you can't really do nicknames. You have to do their legally assigned by name. You can't do like guarantees. It's typically something they don't like. You can't say you're an expert. All these kind of big hot terms that we love to put into marketing lingo.
You can't say you're the best.
Yeah, we can't say they're the best. It can't be things that can't be backed up. because it just puts them at risk for liability because they're held to a much higher standard. And so these are some things that AI doesn't always pick up on,
No.
right? And so at least not at this time frame. And so that's kind of one of the things that I find is an obstacle in using AI for law. You can use it to help maybe get the content, find the topics, get the burden of creating that. But you definitely need to vet all the content before you send it to the client for review. One, because you don't want them to see you making those errors, but even more so before it goes live on their webpage.
Yeah. So unless you're doing spray and pray dirty sites, which there's nothing wrong with doing spray and pray dirty sites. I just had a whole nother video about how to make spray and pray dirty sites and sell those websites or rank and rent those
Totally.
websites. You could definitely do those kinds of things. But by the time you get into, money pages, by the time you get into client ready content, you definitely, whether it's a law client or not, you need to go over the AI content. You need to go over with a fine tooth comb. Make sure you're not saying that it's liable as far as you can tell. And by the way, Ryan's not a lawyer. He can't get legal advice either. And he's not giving legal advice. We're just giving our
Correct.
experience as SEOs. But you definitely need to, it's all about being a professional. Quite frankly, that's why I put on my professional sweater today. That's why it's all about being a professional, right? You gotta make sure you're looking at your client content. You're not saying anything grandiose, like not even for law sites. Like you can't promise 20% off if they're not going to give 20% off. You can't. There's certain things in business you just can't do, and you got to be careful as a professional that you're checking those things and doing those things. Another interesting thing that you mentioned, Ryan, that I want to pick up on is, like you said, yes, law is held to a higher standard. It's like this other term we use, other initialism we use in SEO called YMYL, or your money or your life.
Yeah.
These are other kinds of pages that have to do with finances, money, or health, your life. Now, Google has
Yeah.
actually changed the name of this recently, and I can't remember off the top of my head what they call it
Oh
now.
yeah. It's like health and something.
Yeah.
It's not as cool. I'm
It's
gonna be
not as
honest.
cool. That's why you can't
Not as
remember it,
cool for
right?
sure.
But that's another piece of evidence that Google is replacing the quality raters with AIs because they don't need
Yeah.
humans anymore to remember initialism like YMYL, your money or your
Mhm.
life. Now you can just tell the AI to do it.
Yeah. I would
But
even. It's interesting. So they made a focus on it being health and financial, but underneath health, that includes things like personal trainers, fitness people,
mhm,
all that. Any base. My rule of thumb, I tell people that if your service can affect the well-being of a life, it is in that category of
yes, for
YMYL.
sure, for sure. And I would say that in this case, you have to consider law part of that, right? You have to
Mhm.
consider law part of that, both for the liability from the other end of the client's perspective, but also the liability of making sure Google knows that you have the EAT, right? That's what that's an acronym
Totally.
actually, because it's an initials that make a word, like SWAT is initials that make a word. That's what an acronym is, by the way. EAT, which used to be expertise, authority, and trust. Then they put another E on it, and it's experience, expertise, authority, and trust. And I made the acronym SHEET because that's really when it comes to on page, whether you're using AI or not, and your AI should be able to make sheet all day long, pun fully
Mhm.
intended or pun partially intended, is all these things is what's important for on page. Semantics, helpfulness, it's got to be helpful. Remember the helpful content update? They have a transformer, they have an AI looking to see if your content specifically is helpful, right? So you need the semantic keywords. Everyone's known this since the beginning, right? You need the semantic
Yeah.
keywords. It's been the EMQ since the beginning. Like if you want to rank for best lawyer in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which will be a problematic query, as we just said, because you're not allowed to say your best. But anyway, you still want to try to rank for it. So what do you do there, right? But if you want to rank for lawyer in Winnipeg, BC, you have to have the word somewhere, lawyer in Winnipeg, BC. That was like a 1-to-1 correlation, like a control F, find it in the Word
Mhm.
document. EMQ is called specificity in the SEO industry. That's what Google calls it, specificity. That specific phrase or term. That's what I mean. But there's also a whole bunch of AI related synonyms and metonyms and entities and keywords that are related to those things that Google is using that you need to have AI help find for you in every niche, not only the law niche, which I'm going to show you a live demo of how you would do that today in the law niche of how you would do that. So you need the semantics there, but also you need the helpfulness as well, and AI can help you here as well. Because again, we're not subject matter experts. We don't know what's super duper extra helpful for law searchers. I mean, that's kind of how you get these gurus like Ryan, who kind of learns by doing hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of queries what the user intent is for these queries, which is great and wonderful and great when you have a guru like that on the show. Thank you again, Ryan, for being on the show, and great when they give you information. But did you know that AI can help you here too? AI can help you get a leapfrog on becoming a subject matter expert in these areas, because the AI has all that expertise built in all these different areas already baked into the corpora. And
It's true.
yeah, and if you know how to prompt it correctly, you can get that information out without allowing it to hallucinate. So that's the key there. So how do you use AI to get the information out without getting it to hallucinate? We're going to show you live on the show how you can do that as well for any niche in general, but specifically for legal SEO, for law niches in this particular show, we're going to cater to for today. And so that's the semantics on the sheet. That's the helpful on the sheet. And then, yes, you need the experience. Yes, you need the expertise. Yes, you need the experience keywords in your page. You need the expertise evidence, the keywords in your page. You need the evidence of your authority by the knowledge you have, by putting knowledge keywords in your page. You need the trust keywords. That's why they will trust you, is because it's certain keywords you put in your page and on other pages that are talking about you as well. Did you know that EAT is everyone thinks EAT means your backlinks. That's not all. That's not the only place where they register your experience, your expertise, your authority, and your trust. It is on your on page as well, and we have the AI stats to prove it. And then finally, the last T. So sheet has two T's: SHEEATT. The two T's are trust, and those are trust keywords in your page. But finally, the last T that everyone forgets, and Ryan knows this very well because he's also in underground SEO University, is timeliness. The timeliness keywords in your page. And nothing is more trustworthy than timeliness, that it's up-to-date information. There's another initialism in Google that Google uses in SEO called QDF, called Query Deserves Freshness. And certain queries, pretty much all queries actually, deserve freshness to some degree. They want fresh content. They want the newest, freshest information. They want updated information. They don't want outdated information. And so that's where you need the timeliness keywords in your page and related to your page as well. So AI can help you get the sheet. AI is the sheet. Remember that. AI can help you get the sheet. You need the sheet. You don't just want to eat, you want the sheet. And AI can help you do this in general. And AI can also definitely help you do this with law SEO and legal SEO, which is what we're going to talk about today. Ryan, do you have anything else you want to add to that or talk about for that?
No, that pretty much I think sums up a good point. I'm excited to see this live demo.
Awesome. So let's do it. So let me go here really quickly to see if there's any questions. Steven says, hey, it must be Tuesday. Yes, it is Tuesday, Steven. That is correct. And it says a Tommy Hilfiger sweater. Yes, that is my most professional sweater that I have is the Tommy Hilfiger sweater. So that's fantastic. Okay, so how would you go and try to use AI to help with law SEO? Well, you need to use the right tool. So I mentioned two other large language models that are out right now. There's three really big ones. There's ChatGPT, there's Claude 2, which is from Anthropic, which is a version of Lambda, which is different than GPT, but they're both transformers. They're both large language models at the end of the day. And then there's Bing Chat. There's also Google Bard you could use as well, which is probably Palm 2, which is a different transformer, bigger than Lambda. But they're all comparable really at this point. It's just like a turbo V6 versus a V8. Just small differences here or there, not the big of a deal. You're still going to get in a car, you're still going to drive, so you're going to go somewhere. But is it where you want to go is the question, right? And there's Bing Chat and there's Bard. So the generative search, stuff that Google's playing with. So here's what you can't do. As we already said, here's a huge no-no when it comes to legal SEO. You cannot go onto ChatGPT, Pro or otherwise, GPT-4 or GPT-3, either one, doesn't matter. You can't go onto Claude or Claude 2. You can't go onto Google Bing Chat. You can't go onto, which using GPT-4 or not, doesn't matter. You can't go onto Google Bard and just say, write me a legal web page. No. Bad boy. Slap yourself on the wrist. Or girl or transgender friend. Bad person. Bad human being. You can't do that. That's going to get you in trouble, right? That's not kosher. That's not good enough for the law sites. It's not good enough for any sites really. They're going to hallucinate. They're going to say the wrong things. They're going to say bad things. They're not going to put the keywords in there. They're not going to have the sheet, right? These AIs need to be trained. You need to train them up properly to have the sheet, to have the semantic keywords, the helpful keywords, the experience keywords, the expertise keywords, the authority keywords, the trust keywords, and the timeliness keywords. You need all of that, or either you're not going to rank, or you're going to get the client in hot water. Either way, you're doing your client a disservice, and that means you're going to not be in service very much longer. You're not going to be servicing clients very much longer. If you keep doing disservices to your clients, you're not going to have any pretty soon. And so you don't want to do that. So you need to use an AI tool which can help you with this. So I'm going to show you our AI tool called Keyword Spy. It is the absolute best AI tool on the market for on-page SEO, shortly moving into internal links, page audits, and on-site SEO, and then moving off to off-site SEO after that. Automating as much of the AI process as we possibly can. So Keyword Spy is this AI tool that I've built with my partner Greg, who is on a long golfing vacation. That's why he's not here today, and Ryan's sitting in, which we appreciate. He decided to go golfing in the Poconos. Poor guy. He's going golfing in the Poconos. He's not here on the show, so he's leaving us to do the important legal SEO show for you, which we're very happy to do. And so we built this AI up, and it actually creates your own AI models on the actual AIs that Google uses to give you guaranteed the absolute best keywords absolutely possible. Our stats show that if you're within our limits, you can get up to a 12-spot boost, and our stats show that very, very strongly. I'll show you the stats. As Ryan said, you can't say anything that you can't back up, so I can back it up. You want the stats? I'll show you the stats. I'd be happy to do so. They're rather striking, and I can guarantee you're going to get ranking boosts if you're going to use our system and use it properly. So how do you use the system and use it properly for legal SEO? Well, let me show you. So let me do a live demo, and let me get to it here, and let me show you. So I would go to apptrykeywordspy.com, which is where the app is, and you could sign in. Okay, here we go. So here's the system. So the first thing you want to do in SEO period is you want to do a keyword research phase, right? It doesn't matter how long you've been working in SEO. It doesn't matter how long you've been working in SEO. It doesn't matter how well you know the keywords. You are not omnipotent, right? You're not omniscient. You don't know when changes in search patterns happen, and changes in search patterns happen all the time. And so this is what really separates the professionals from the amateurs. I'm going to give you the best pro tip you've ever heard on any YouTube SEO show ever. Do a keyword research phase. You need to look to see what people are searching. Are they saying it? Are they searching it? Are they talking it? The search trends of what people are searching are changing dramatically. And yes, our clients, our law clients are going to be like, I want to rank for lawyer San Francisco. Okay, yeah, that'll be easy. I want to rank for lawyer Calgary, whatever it is. And sure, we're going to get you ranking for that. But there's a whole bunch of other law terms that you want to be ranking for to build up your supporting pages, to build up the authority of your site, to rank for low-hanging fruit, to get the traffic in there, to get the trust signals, and to build up your SEO and to show quick wins and show your client that you know what to do. Ryan, how quick are lawyers to check on your project to see whether you're doing a good job as an SEO or not?
So I wouldn't sure if I'd say that they're like always on your case, but when you come to those reporting calls, they're quick to make a decision on how they go.
Yes.
Right. So it is, yeah, I would definitely say that. There's been times where like I haven't talked to a law client maybe in like 1 or 2 months. And then we catch up and have a meeting. But whenever there is a request or there is, communication, the expectation for timeliness is pretty up there.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and this is pretty much goes for all clients, but for law clients and legal SEO particularly, which of course I've done as well, but Ryan
Yeah.
specializes in, is they will make a judgment right there. If you haven't hit the numbers you said you're going to hit,
Yeah.
or if you haven't produced any results, they're a business like any other. They are lawyers. They're well educated. They're professionals. They're going to make a snap decision like that of whether to keep
Yeah.
you on or not, right? So you really got to be careful to make sure that you are going for the right keywords
Yeah.
to begin with. Otherwise, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. And again, you're not going to have any clients anymore. You're not going to have any money anymore. And that,
The
that's all sad and not good,
yeah.
not what you want. So,
And a lot of people talk too. Like people will
mm,
share in forums and stuff. So like it's an industry you want to stay good in. And 100% how you align your takeoff for the campaign will decide how it lands. So yeah, you couldn't put more effort into keywords and making sure that the plan you're putting out is going to manage the expectation. It's going to be able to be managed. You're going to be able to meet the expectations that you've set and manage them as you go through it.
exactly. Yeah. And in any kind of client services, it's all about under promising and over delivering. So it's all about, or what I like to call the Geordie LaForge method of client services, right? You always got to make sure that you can do what you said you're going to do, and you do what you said you're going to do. So make sure you don't overpromise there. Make sure you set realistic expectations for the client, for yourself. And the only way you can do that is not by just saying, yeah, sure, I'll try to rank for lawyer San Francisco. How hard could it be? That would be one of the hardest keywords to go for in the world, right? So that's not going to help you, right? What you need to do is try to manage the client expectations. If you're starting out, depending on how powerful the site is, you need to start out with realistic keywords that site could possibly rank for. How do you know all these things? You need to use AI to determine all these things. So what we need to do is do a keyword discovery phase and go to keyword discovery, and you need to ensure that you're going for the right keywords to begin with. And keyword discovery is an AI that will help you find the absolute best keywords to rank for in any given niche. All you need to do is start with keywords or start with an existing website, or you can import keywords and analyze them in bulk. And you can find out all the low-hanging fruit, hidden gem keywords in here that you didn't even know about. But what's even better about this is that not only is this doing a low-hanging fruit kind of research into what has the best traffic, what is hot this year, what people like to bid money on, meaning that there's a lot of money behind that query, meaning you should have a money page on it because there's some money there to be made. But it also has the most advanced AI in the world, literally. I could say this because I've been in the industry for 25 years and I've checked out all the other tools and they all suck. We literally have the most advanced AI in the world that is thinking for itself and doing AI competitive research like an SEO consultant would, checking to see how difficult the different pages are. So let me show you how you would do it. So what you would do here is you would have to select this stuff here, the difficulty modifiers, to determine what you should be, how difficult it will be. This will tweak the score of how difficult the AI might find it for you or easy might find it for you. So if you're already using a powerful site, you could click this one. If you're a top level expert in this niche in terms of how Google knows you, in terms of your author entity, and Google knows that, whomever, Google knows that Ryan Mazies is a top level expert in legal SEO. So he could click this if he was writing pages on it, and that would tailor the difficulty a little bit in the future. Or if you plan on using other people's AI content, or if you don't plan on being in the green and following our recommendations, you might want to increase the difficulty because the AI content can be risky if and only if you're not going to follow our recommendations. It's perfectly safe if you follow our recommendations, but for some reason people don't always follow our recommendations. They get lazy, or they decide to go over here to ChatGPT and try to get it to spit something out, which is not a good idea. So then you would select this to make it slightly more difficult. But otherwise, I'm going to start with a keyword. Let's start with lawyer, Calgary, Alberta. How about that? And we're going to do it. We're going to do it for Canada because, quite frankly, who would be looking for a lawyer in Calgary, Alberta, other than people in Calgary, Alberta, or Canada? And we'll say
I think 80% of our lawyer searches come from Calgary, Alberta.
Yes, I can only imagine they would. Unless you wanted to take legal action against someone in Calgary, you wanted to hire a lawyer there, even if you're abroad. I suppose that's possible.
Yeah. There's just, I think that's like, is that the crime capital of Canada? I can't remember. I might be wrong.
I don't know. We're going to insult our Canadian brethren here probably.
That's true. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's the most Calgary of all the Calgarys. I'll tell you that
It's
much.
true. It's true.
It's the most yeehaw Calgary of all the Calgarys. That's for sure.
Yeah, the Stampede's a good time.
Yeah. The Stampede is a good time for sure. Alberta is kind of like the Canadian Texas. I don't think it's unfair to say that. Some people even in Alberta would say that. So
It's true.
it's pretty yeehaw in Calgary.
Canada's Texas.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Canada is Texas. That's what a lot of people say. So Ryan, while we're waiting for so the AI is going through now. It's casting a wide net from one simple seed keyword, lawyer, Calgary, Alberta. It's going to find us all of the law based keywords. It's going to cast the AI is going to think intelligently and cast the widest net possible to find you keywords you never even thought were possible or never even realized existed or have changed or are new. While we're waiting for it to do that, do you have any stories like to share with law SEO or anything you could talk about legal SEO?
Yeah, so like legal is an interesting thing, especially like in the personal injury side. Sometimes in legal SEO, cases are being developed and new topics are hitting the web. And the problem sometimes is when you're going to be advertising for topics that might be coming down the line is that you can't do it by your natural keyword stuff. So there was something I worked on for a Camp Lejeune lawsuit back at the beginning of the year. And we basically knew like stuff was going to be happening for this and wanted to prep a bunch of content, but we couldn't like look at what was ranking because the conversations weren't being had yet. So we always talk about how we try to like reflect what's being written. In this case, we had an opportunity to kind of set what was being written, or at least be some of the first people that were searchable. And so we basically pumped out like 18 pages around the topic of this Camp Lejeune water contamination before any news had dropped or stuff on it. And as a result, I think over like the 6-7 months after we launched the first page, the client had like almost 1,650 leads come in organically. And the idea is that sometimes we talk about being timely, but sometimes to be timely, you got to be early, especially in the world of law and sometimes PA where class actions can be coming down the line and you don't want to be like the second or fourth person off the start line. So something to kind of keep in mind where you can use AI sometimes to help come up with ideas of what could content be like, sampling things that are maybe similar cases. And that might be a way that you can utilize tools like this for that. But there is some side of when you're doing law SEO that almost is like you kind of got to predict what may be coming to get good wins.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So that's a very well known and old tactic in SEO is one of the easiest ways to rank for a very high level money query is to predict what they're going to be ahead of time, right? So in affiliate stuff, we saw the acai berries coming out. This is 10 years ago or so, whatever it was, when I was doing affiliate SEO. And we saw acai berries was getting really popular. And so we had a bunch of pages ranking for that before, it was a thing yet. And it's all about knowing what's going to come out or making a keyword, a keyword, right? Like making a phrase that nobody uses right now get popular in the future. And by putting out radio ads, TV ads, so that kind of thing, you can kind of get things going. Like you could do this for law, for example. If your lawyer has money and wants to make a commercial, one of those sometimes cheesy lawyer commercials you see on late night TV or whatever.
Oh yeah. Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Better Call Saul, right? You can get some kind of phrasing going or some kind of rhyming thing going or something like that, where you're like, I can't even think of it off the top of my head because I'm demoing, but some kind of get the divorce force or something, and divorce force can be something Googled that no one ranks for yet. But now you can start picking up all those queries because you put a radio ad out there, hire the divorce force, or something. And they're like, oh yeah, that's what I need, in my life, more divorce or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of a depressing topic to talk about, but they remember divorce force in their head and they search it. That's maybe a silly example just off the top of my head, unprepared, but seeding the landscape, the search landscape, and then seeing what comes out and then being able to rank for that before it even happens is definitely gold.
100%.
So, all right. So the keyword difficulty report is done, at least for a bunch of them for the initial set. And look what we got coming out here. So this is very interesting. Speaking of divorce, the one of the top ones here was divorce lawyer, and I could sort by final ROI. Actually, if I sort by keyword ROI, which is how it was sorted to begin with here, you could see divorce attorney, family divorce lawyer, family law lawyers, family law Calgary, family law attorney Calgary, Calgary, Alberta. All these different variations of keywords. They all have a lot of searches. They're all sadly 7% up this year. So they're definitely things that are still hot and not in a downtrend in any way, shape, or form. Sadly, being divorced.
Yeah.
But we got to rank for what we got to rank for, right? And again, good clicks. There's money. You don't even have to look at the Google Ads average CPC to know there's money behind it, and that's why these have such high keyword ROI. Our keyword ROI AI does a proprietary score of the monthly searches or traffic multiplied by the average CPC multiplied by the year-over-year change, and that's why these are up here. But we've also done a keyword difficulty report. So these are highly lucrative queries, and these are highly lucrative queries. And these are all different queries, quite frankly. If you can vaguely justify any different kind of content, because you can't have duplicate content, right? Mm-hmm. You can't just have duplicate pages for divorced attorney Calgary and divorced lawyer Calgary, divorced lawyers in Calgary, Alberta. Yeah. You can't just have duplicate content. Those all have to be different pages.
Yeah.
But you can make different pages for them because they are different queries that are separated out by our AI and are separated out and might, surprisingly, have distinct content possibilities that you can have different angles to these pages. And whether they end up being supporting pages and they're never superstar rankers, or they end up being superstar rankers, you never know from the offset and should definitely try.
So some of these I would almost like categorize into creating one page for them because it's almost like it's the same time. Like for example, family law lawyers Calgary, family law Calgary, Alberta. Would you really make two separate pages for those two items?
Probably not. So as I was saying, here's the rule of thumb for me. If you can brainstorm and use even ChatGPT to brainstorm the different kind of angles you can take. Don't have ChatGPT. So here's another pro tip for AI, for law SEO, or all SEO, quite frankly, but law SEO in particular. If you can brainstorm in some way a different kind of angle, like divorce attorney Calgary and divorce lawyers in Calgary, Alberta, this is looking for a specific divorce attorney in Calgary. This is talking about different lawyers in Calgary, Alberta. Here you can talk about the firm. You could talk about the different lawyers. You could talk about how they've been in Calgary, Alberta for 20 years. Here you can talk about the specific attorney, what they've done, their accomplishments, how they're different, right? You could possibly justify a different kind of content, a different angle for some of these different pages. Family law lawyers Calgary and family law attorney Calgary, probably not. Maybe you can because it's lawyers and attorney, or family law lawyers, law lawyer Calgary and family law attorney Calgary. So that's the same. I can't imagine unless ChatGPT comes up with something or your client says,
technically, like an attorney is someone who acts at the court and comes to court and represents you. Well, a lawyer can be someone that advises. So there is like an actual distinction between lawyer and attorney. I don't know how well known it is in terms of ChatGPT and Google because they're kind of used interchangeably in a lot of marketing material.
That's true.
So I'd be curious.
Yeah, that's true. And that's a very good point. So here's another place where you can't trust ChatGPT, and having a subject matter expert like Ryan on is really an advantage. And thank you for reminding me. And you're totally correct. Yes. I've heard this before as well. A lawyer and an attorney technically are not necessarily the same thing. So you can differentiate the content on these pages, and therefore you can justify having different pages for this. So instead of having one page getting X amount of ranking power, both on it, from it, and to it, you can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential pages with 6x the ranking power coming from it, to it, and because of it, right? Now you have more supporting pages on your site. And that's not spammy, right? That's not spammy at all. I mean, if you can't justify another reason for that page to exist, okay, that's a little spammy. But even then you could still do it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And you never know, Google might pick it up, might like it. But if it's not ranking very well, you could 301 it to other pages, or you could leave it as a supporting page,
Yeah.
and it could stay as a supporting page, quite frankly.
Yeah. I even sometimes will check to see if these search terms have like significantly different results, and if the content difference on the pages, if the pages that are different, if the content that they're writing about is slightly different, like maybe they wrote about attorneys and one didn't, you might get some answers onto how you might disseminate your pages. But yeah, very cool.
Yeah, no,
This
that's
is
a great point. So
Yeah.
in the group, we call that our GCA method, or Google is a content analyzer method. And in
Mhm.
SEO Underground University, we have all these kinds of extravagant ways of right out in the open using
Mhm.
Google as kind of our own content analyzing tool. If you just know how to use Google well enough, and that's one of the
Yeah.
ways is that do a search for divorce attorney at Calgary and see what comes up. You can do it here very easily by just clicking that button. And so we have divorce attorney Calgary, results for Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And so ignore the sponsored here. We're talking about the info at this particular moment. And then
Yeah.
see, okay, how does this change and how is this different from what you would get for divorce lawyers in Calgary, Alberta, for example. And look, they're different. Different stuff comes up.
I think
The,
those are the same.
these people say they're the best lawyers, divorce lawyers in Calgary. That thebestcalgary.com. Can they say that? I don't.
I think that is that a blog post, or is that, I don't think that's a service page. I think that's like, here are the
uh,
best lawyers in Calgary for 2023, like a
I
blog
think
guide.
yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a blog post. That might be how they
Yeah.
can get
So
away with it.
interesting. This is making it seem like the intent for this search is mostly informative,
Yeah.
because there's not a lot of actual law firms ranking on there for hiring. Oh wait, there's one, Citrum. Yeah, but three. Oh, never mind. That's also,
Yeah.
that's the
So
three best rated.
here's some differences. So here's what you do. Here's an AI way of taking care of this. So what you do is you use the SERP to CSV plugin. You click the SERP to CSV plugin from linkpitch.io. And here's another way I'm going to use AI to to pimp this out. Watch this. So take divorce lawyers in Calgary, Alberta, put that here under the website. Boom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go divorce attorney Calgary, Alberta. I'll do the same SERP to CSV plugin. And boom, you get this one here. And I will call this divorce attorney Calgary.
And then you see which ones are the same. Smart.
Yeah. And then if you know Excel well enough, you can just do an Excel command here to see which ones are the same. I don't, however, and you might not either, but that's fine. So it's not a problem. What you do is you take this, you save this as something here. I'll save it on my desktop, and I will save it as an Excel workbook, and I'll say compare these. Okay. Now what do? It's Jack saying optimize. Now what I do is I go here to GPT-4 Advanced Data Analysis. I upload that page, compare these, boink, and I say, please compare these two separate search results and tell me two things. One, what percentage difference is the ranking spot by spot? And two, what percentage difference are the URLs overall from one list to the next? And you don't even have to spell it right, but I will. So here's another pro AI tip of how you can check to see. This might be another way to know whether or not you want to make different content for it. But quite frankly, I don't care what it's going to say about this. What I want to do is make different content for it if I can. If I can even possibly talk about how lawyers are different from attorneys and attorneys are different from lawyers. You never know. They might want to hire one and not the other. Or the lawyer might be one and not the other. You never, or the attorney might be one and not the other. They don't go to court, for example. You never know. Okay. So it says the percentage difference in URLs between the two search terms is approximately 94%. And that's quite different when you're talking about it. And I know here they seem the same. These seem the same. These seem the same. These seem the same. These seem the same. But after this, Jones divorce, McLean here, Jennings law, family law, there is some similarities at the front here, but that doesn't mean they're the same in terms of, that doesn't mean they're the same in terms of, content, right? Because there's link algorithms here and there's other trust algorithms here that would put them at the front, because at the end of the day, the user intent is the same, but Google doesn't know that. And the user intent might not be the same, because again, lawyers and attorneys are not the same thing as you mentioned. So I would trust this. They are quite different at the end of the day, and that could be a way that you could convince yourself, okay, yeah, well, we can make different content for this page, and we can make different content for this page. And you never would have known that if you hadn't done a keyword spy report. And you can see it cast a pretty wide net. It got you 400 keywords from a single seed keyword, lawyer, Calgary, Alberta. So that's pretty interesting there. So you can make different pages, and at the end of the day, bigger websites rank better. And this is how AI can help you make bigger websites, is by having more keywords to go for that also make you money, right? These keywords have a high return on investment. That's why we call it keyword ROI. They have a big return on investment. So it's really important there to make sure that you've got that going.
Totally.
So let me click this here and start a keyword report. So once you decide, now I'm going to talk about the keyword difficulty in a second, but I can see that it's actually super simple to rank for this. I'm going to start a keyword report so it's running in the background. I'm going to say Canada. I'm going to say top 100 results. I'm going to say the less accurate, but even I'm going to say this one here, google.ca, and say continue. Okay. So I've started a keyword report automagically. Now, however, while I'm running that, you might be like, okay, Josh, great. You've proven to me that sure, maybe some of these different keywords deserve to have their own page, and maybe some don't. Maybe you're like, there's absolutely no way I could possibly justify having different content for this page, so you can skip it. That's fine. We've got 400 other keywords here, 443 other keywords here you can go for. And that was just off of lawyer Calgary, Alberta. I could do divorce lawyer Calgary and get, 100 more ideas that didn't come up. And I can do family law Calgary and get 100 more ideas that didn't come up before. And you can just rinse, repeat. But this is not even the best thing about keyword discovery. The best thing about using AI to find the keywords you should be ranking for, the intelligence of AI, which can see things that we can't, is getting it to see how difficult or how easy certain keywords are. For example, look at criminal lawyers Calgary, Alberta. Look how much money is behind it. But look here how easy it is to rank for. We have, instead of sorting by the keyword ROI, we can sort by final ROI, which is keyword ROI reduced by keyword difficulty to get you the absolute best final return on your investment for the SEO dollars you put into all of these keywords. Because at the end of the day, you're putting in time and you're putting in money to these keywords. Ryan, how useful is it to you to know and have a tool of what the best keywords are to possibly go for, given that you have to spend money in your agency to try to rank these things?
I like it, to be honest. It definitely is. When it comes to, like, in the end, you're probably making a page for each, but the order of operation in which you tackle those pages means the sooner you get your client ROI. And I'll tell you something, it's a breath of fresh air when your client tells you that your services are making the money, because that's called job security, and it's great. And so planning out the right keywords 100% with every client, although you're marketing them, you're planning for success, and knowing that you pick the right keywords that you can deliver that success as early as possible will make sure that you can keep that client for years to come.
Exactly. And it's not only job security, but it's also pride in your work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, you can't put a price on that. Pride in your work and knowing that you're good at what you do and knowing you have the right tools and you're doing it well and you're doing it right. That's worth something for sure. especially when you're dealing with lawyers as your clients, that you can
Yeah.
ethically justify what it is you're doing. And another great thing, so the keyword difficulty here, let me look into this. So you can sort it by the easiest, you can sort it by the final ROI. And so let me show you how this looks here. So remember, the higher the average difficulty and the higher the score here is, the more difficult. And because we didn't select any of the powerful sites or AI content or top level expert, it's not making it either harder or easier in those regards. So this is just kind of the straight difficulty of what we think our AI thinks is for these particular competitors of ours. And quite frankly, look at this. These keywords is actually super. You might be interested in this, all right? Criminal lawyers, Calgary, Alberta is actually a super easy query to go for. And people are actually typing in Calgary, Alberta. Otherwise, that wouldn't be there, right? So this is actually super easy to go for. Look at this. No one is putting the EMQ in the page, in the title, or in the URL. The page focus is not even, it's 0% for some of them. The site focus is 0% for one. And the title focus is not that high either. Yeah, some have a few backlinks, but not many. Some have some paid traffic. Some have some traffic, and one has a brand awareness. Yelp has a brand awareness, but whoop-de-doo. Yelp is just there because, quite frankly, it's getting QDD. So, quite frankly, our AI shows that this is a really super easy keyword to go for, and these are the kind of keywords you want to risk your money on. If you're risking your time and your money and your reputation on doing your SEO, you want to go for the easier ones. Let's look for another easy one. Divorce attorney Calgary is another surprisingly easy keyword to go for here. Again, no one knows how to do their SEO here for this. For divorce attorney Calgary. Maybe they went for divorce lawyer Calgary. Maybe they went for divorce lawyer near me. However they did it, but no one has got this exactly in the right SEO spots. So that's very interesting from an ease perspective. Now, and you can keep analyzing these keywords and be like, okay, well, these are the ones we should go for because they're the easiest, and start cranking out like these 20 pages that it starts out with. And that's really, really useful for, it's really, really useful for, and it's not just useful, this is essential. This is what you need to do to be a professional SEO. You need to be able to look at a search landscape quickly and efficiently and know what keywords you should be trying to rank for. And there is no other way to do it than with AI. There's no other simpler way to do it and faster and easiest way to do it. I was able to do it here in 5 minutes while chatting with Ryan here on the show. Now let's quickly see if there's any questions before I move on here. Any questions here, guys? Before we move on, let me just check to see. Doesn't seem like there's any questions. Great. So look at this, Ryan, here. Here's another really interesting one. Accident lawyers in Calgary is up 49% in the last 6 months. And it's at $8 a click.
Accident lawyer. What would that be, like a PI lawyer? Accident lawyer?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess
maybe
so.
this was the Stampede last year. Maybe the Stampede finally came back, and there's a lot.
there were some accidents.
Yeah,
some people's feet got stampeded. Who knows?
Interesting.
Yeah, it could be workers' comp as well. Could be workers' comp.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, here's another great thing about it is that you can be the superstar for your client. You can go to your client and be like, hey, you know what? Accident lawyers in Calgary and accident lawyers Calgary is up 50% in the last 6 months, and people are bidding $8 a click on it. And it's not that hard to go for. 17% means that if you follow our recommendations, you should be able to get at page 3, page 4 easily by just following our recommendations, and then you do SEO from there to build it up. We can almost pretty much guarantee that. So, I mean, what other AI tool can do this for you? Every AI tool will give you some kind of crappy, based on the backlinks only, some kind of difficulty. We do a much more robust analysis and a much more a much more competitive analysis of competitive analysis, if you will. We do a much more robust and much more AI, next generation AI, intelligent analysis of what's going on here. And AI is thinking and talking to itself and doing different things and checking things out here. And it realizes everything that's going on here. And it's telling you, hey, look at the low hanging fruit here is 10, a 10% difficulty for the bottom one here, which is pretty darn impressive. Which is pretty interesting. So, and then the next one from there is the first one at 11%, which obviously must have some pretty good organic traffic. People are liking this. It has tons of backlinks, so that's interesting there. But they don't have very good focus on this. So they are ready, even with those backlinks, it's not that big of a deal anymore. They are ready to be knocked off this spot, quite frankly.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so that is one way. That is one way in which AI can help you clinch all the legal SEO spots. You need to be a professional. You need to use AI. You need to use keyword spy and keyword discovery to find those low-hanging fruit keywords. That's how you wear the sweater. The sweater actually doesn't matter. It's the AI analysis that matters. You need to be a professional and check for your keywords that are the best ones first off, before you go moving on to trying to rank for them. Because that is, and Ryan will tell you, this is 75% of the game, right? Choosing the right keywords and the order in which you go for them. Like he said, you're going to go for pretty much all of them anyway, because when you're talking about legal SEO, when you're talking about local SEO as well, there's only so many keywords to go for, right? There's not tens of thousands of keywords you can often go for. There's like 400 you can go for. So you're probably, if you keep your customer and you're doing your good job and you keep them for months and months and months and months or years, you're going to end up going for all the keywords anyway, right? But the order in which you go for them is of mega, mega importance. You don't want to wait a year and a half to rank. Ryan, you tell me, do you think a lawyer will keep you on retainer for a year and a half without getting any page one rankings? What's the likelihood of that?
Oh, zero.
Zero.
Zero. Absolutely zero.
I gave you the softball answer and you knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
I don't think you can pass the year, to be honest. A year and a half. I mean, I've had like 6 months to me is like you need to have some sort of noticeable gain in 6 months. And like typically if they haven't made $1 in 6 months, there'll be some hard conversations to be had. And hopefully you can explain and show progress. And I call them sub KPIs. Like, look, we're starting to rank for this, starting to rank for that. I'm assuming that if 6 months happens and you don't have a thing to show for it, that there's been discussions about, hey, we're a little off track coming up to this point. Here's what we're doing to go forth. But yeah, man, I would say even 6 months, if you don't get like start getting first page rankings in there, then you're probably in hot water. It also depends how much you charge. Like I think it's like we start people coming in at around $5,000 a month for SEO services. Depends on how many locations they have and how big of a site they need. And if you're going to try professional rates, there needs to be like a whole side of professional customer management with that.
Yes, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, 6 months without any rankings. Come on. So, I mean, in Keyword Spy, we could promise you rankings in 6 weeks, not 6 months. Like almost in some cases, we can promise you rankings in 6 days in Keyword Spy. And that's all because you chose the right keywords to begin with. You chose the right ones to begin with. And that's how you can promise that. Mm-hmm. And that's how you gain that. So the order of the keywords you're going for, I cannot stress how important that is. But once you've got the right keywords that you want to go for, then what do you do is the question.
Then you got to execute the plan.
Then you got to execute the plan, right? Now you need to rank them. So how do you do that? Well, let me show you in AI how you would do that to rank for them. Let's check the reports here and see if this particular one is done. Great. So divorce attorney Calgary, again, our very, very happy topic, but it's a very, very lucrative keyword. Here is, oh, look, we've got a boost of 87 spots and a boost of 71 spots. Yay. And a boost of 1 spot. Look at that. Yay. Fantastic. Okay. For divorce attorney Calgary, the report's now done. So once the report is done in Keyword Spy, I'm going to take a quick lap around here to show you the results of what you would get for the RankBrain AI. These are the different kinds of entities. I would watch here to see a precipitous drop between this entity and this entity, family law, divorce lawyers, a huge drop between this and this. I don't see a big precipitous drop on these ones, so I wouldn't pay attention to those. In BERT, now again, you don't need to do all this. You can just go right to the editor and you can go right to the editor and get the article going if you want. Which you know what I will do while I'm going through this, actually, now that I think about it. So I will get our high quality article generator going here while it's going. I won't. I will just use a. You use their name, like whoever they are. It's like Divorce Force. Divorceforce.ca. That's who we're doing it for. We're in the middle of the sales funnel. I'll do the URL, the title, the meta description. And what our angle? We have a sale on divorces this week. We have a sale on divorces and heading level 1. I'm being facetious, of course. You wouldn't put false information in here, and I'll say continue. Okay, and so the high quality article is going now, and we'll be notified when it's complete. Let me go back here to the results, to the reports here for you, just to show you all the bells and whistles of what you get by using a robust AI for law SEO. The BERT algorithm. We know that Google is using the BERT AI. We know that BERT AI is looking at entities like this. It cares about the query intent, the term weighting, TW BERT, the term weighting, family law lawyers in Calgary specializing in divorce cases. When they search divorce attorney Calgary, that's what they're looking for. They want to find a divorce attorney in Calgary. They're looking for a divorce lawyer in Calgary. They're looking for family law lawyers in Calgary specializing in divorce cases. That's what they're looking for. That's what you want, right? And again, we can see how the family law entity is important here because there's a precipitous drop in the numbers of the competitors that are being used, but also it's the first one that the BERT AI came up with that we rebuilt for you and we analyzed and put in here for you. Neural matching is another important AI, but just to get it done quickly for the show, I skipped it. But usually you'd see tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 metonyms here. It's very important to get this going. But again, and I would recommend when you do a keywords by report to do the most accurate testing or the less accurate but faster results. I did this one, which skips that test because it's the one, that's the model that takes a lot of time to build. And I want to make sure this was done for you while I was talking. It usually only takes about 10 to 20 minutes, but I wanted to make sure it was done for you anyway. Image entity is still being processed as well. I want to make sure I could talk about this before it was done, but this will come up with the kinds of entities that you want to use for the knowledge graph. DOM vector is the document object model vector that you can analyze yourself. If you want to know what HTML tags you should be using, you would click what competitors here you think is the page you want to make, and it will give you a JSON of what these web pages look like, and that will tell you how you should build it. This is something we're going to be building out in future. It's something we really use in Underground SEO University. It's kind of a really advanced SEO thing. You've got to know programming. You got to know HTML. You don't have to know these things to join us or Underground SEO University, but some of our members are high-level SEOs who do have teams. Like, for example, Ryan has a whole agency where we can build out the proper document object model structures that Google has machine learned to get the absolute boosts to know what kind of pages they want. So just skip this if you don't know anything about that, or if everything I just said sound like Greek, doesn't make any sense. We have one of the best competitive analysis tools on the planet, which will allow you to see the words, the exact match, the partial match of what people are using for competitor keywords, the structure and content, the semantic of how much they are related to it and how much related to it you want to be, how good their heat score is, their helpfulness, their expertise, authority, and trust. We have a proprietary score, a heat AI that just analyzes how helpful they are, which you're going to see being used in the high quality article when we go back to the editor in a second. Test pages is something that's just for Underground SEO University students. It doesn't exist for general customers. And lastly, results. So here's where you get the magic of our proprietary scoring system, which uses all the different AIs that exist. We add them up and give you a proprietary score that does it in a way that no other system does it, because we kind of mimicked, quite frankly, we've mimicked the Google way of doing it. Google has a scoring system that's like this. It assigns points based on different AIs. It assigns points and gives you a final score. So that's the way that we do it. And we know what entities you should be using, whether it's multi-word entities or single word entities. Did you know there's single word entities? Some of these AIs are only single word, like RankBrain, for example, can be both. In our testing, we found. And neural matching is single word only. So, and this is one neural matching test that we definitely do. So, so we add up all these scoring and we give you a score at the end. We have very interesting ways. You can also, if you like certain words or don't like certain words, like if you don't like the word in, although, in Calgary, Alberta is very important. We know that this phrase is going to be important in Calgary, Alberta, because we see the stop word in here. A lot of these, the stop words are good. You need the stop words for the AI. The stop words matter. The stop words count because Google is using AI now. And sadly, Ryan, I know you know this, a lot of the other AI tools strip out the stop words, which is a mistake because the stop words are how you make phrases, and some of the phrases are very important
for give context.
Give you context for the ranking. Exactly. This will be in Calgary, Alberta. What kind of and et cetera, LP, et cetera, blah, 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 blah. You need all those in there. So you don't have to remember any of this, but you can check it out. And if you see a word in here you don't like, you're like, I don't want this. Boom, I'll get rid of that word. Boom, you can remove it out there. Some of the stuff that gets in here from scraping everyone, you can be like, okay, let's remove those out. And you can see all the different entities that need to be used in your page, and they're all lined up in a score that tells you how they need to be used. Our AIs will automatically use this for the high quality article generation that we're doing here. Now let's check in on it, see how well it's doing. Awesome. So it's still working away, it's still analyzing it, and still building the high quality article. Now, when this is done, you definitely, like we said at the beginning of the episode, for any kind of SEO, not just for legal SEO, but especially for legal SEO, you need to read the output that it makes. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that the content score is correct. You need to make sure that your heat score, the high quality article will do the heat score automatically for you in 9 times out of 10. And it'll get you pretty close to the AI predictability you want to be at 9 times out of 10. But what the high quality AI article generator does is it casts a very wide net on different ideas to give you the maximal chance of having the right content in your page that you want. Because it's much easier to delete paragraphs than it is to write a new one and add a new one in the flow of the article. Because that's going to change everything. It's going to change all of your content scoring. It's going to change your keyword scoring. It's going to change the predictability. It's going to change the structure of the page. And so it's much easier to remove after than it is to add. And so what we do is we cast a wider net. We build a larger article that it's going to be a little high on the content score. And quite frankly, it's going to be a little high on the words. You see the top median word count of your competitors is 1,400 words. It's 15 headings on average, with 106 words on average in the headings. And the first paragraph is 58 words in general. And that's pretty much what you want to kind of match. That's pretty much what you want to kind of get to with the high quality article. And when you're deleting the paragraphs, which hopefully this is going to finish, I'm going to show you in a second. That's the problem of always doing a live demo. Sometimes there's tons of people using the system and I won't be able to get it done. It could take 5 minutes. It could take 15 minutes. It really depends. You really want to get the words lower, around this word count or lower. And what's even more important is you really want to get the content score in this optimal range. So, and this is what I mentioned earlier, is this content score, getting it in the optimal range. Here's where you need to really use AI, quite frankly. There is no way a human could possibly determine the kind of keywords, the depth of the keywords, the variety of the keywords, the spread of the keywords, the frequency of the keywords, different keywords for different AIs. There's no way a human can do this. This is kind of why I mean, the title of the episode is how to use AI to help with legal SEO. But quite frankly, there is no way to do SEO in 2023 and beyond without using an AI. You might be able to wing it from the hip. You might be able to get some rankings from the hip, but that is reducing your chances, quite frankly. And there's going to be some very hard niches where you need to absolutely nail the perfect frequency of keywords, distribution of keywords, spread of keywords. And these keywords or entities are not just from one AI, they're from like 6 different AIs. Unless you want to spend 50 hours working on a single article, which if you're an in-house SEO and you got 50 hours to spend, I mean, if that's your average work week,
Yeah.
or that's your second work week, fine, then do it, right? Do it manually. You'll get a much better predictability anyway. And I hope you're a subject matter expert. But if you don't want to spend 50 hours doing it and you'd rather spend 50 minutes doing it, then this is where you need to use an AI to, I mean, never mind. There's no way you could analyze all the things you need to analyze manually. That's why we had to start relying on AI in undergraduate university, because there's no way you could find all the possible keywords with the frequency, the variation, the spread you need, the different words you need to be saying out of different AIs at the right depth. Did you know you can go over optimized? You can definitely go over optimized, and our stats show that will definitely tank your rankings. So you need to say it. You need to be in the Goldilocks zone. You need to say it just the right amount, not too little that'll tank your rankings, and not too much that'll tank your rankings. And you need to say the frequency of the right words. If you don't say the frequency of the right words, it's not about saying the same keyword, divorce, 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 divorce. It's not about saying that 30 times or whatever it is. There is no hard number you need to hit. It's all relative to what the AI detects. You also need to hit the frequency of words. If you keep nailing the word divorce, that is over optimized and that'll hit you. Even on a keyword like divorce attorney, Calgary, Alberta. And all those words, attorney, Calgary, and Alberta, you need to say the right frequency as well, including all the metonyms and synonyms and all the related words as well. You need to say in the right frequency. And so there's no way of doing it, guys. There's no way of doing it unless you're using AI. And I think for those people out there who are having ranking problems, I think you're starting to realize or understand what I'm talking about and how difficult it is, and how you could, if you're an expert like Ryan, who's been doing this for a very long time, yeah, maybe you can fly off. You can use your expertise and kind of wing it for a while in your standard operating procedures and your SOPs. But eventually, you're going to have to break down and use AI. Eventually, you're going to have to get the frequencies in there that are at the right frequencies, especially for the tougher niches, the harder niches. And as time goes on, Google using these kinds of AI relative methods are just going to increase. Ryan, would you say that's a fair statement moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not jumping on the train now, it's only a matter of time before you're yourself getting outdated. It's We use it in our practice. It's helped us taking the burden of a lot of the workload that comes with building out these campaigns. 100%. If you're doing okay now, don't maybe let that think that you don't need to do this in the future, because everyone has access to these softwares, right? Everyone is going to eventually adopt them. Being an earlier adopter, being more of an early adopter will keep you ahead of that curve. And so if you're thinking that it's not needed right now, it's just a matter of time really before it is. And if you're going to be staying competitive, join the bandwagon.
Yeah, and quite frankly, the price of these tools are going to go up. The price of these tools are going to go up over time, not go down, because it takes a lot of engineering to build these things. It's not easy, right? AI is going to become like Photoshop. The price of Photoshop hasn't really gone down. It's still like
subscription now too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a subscription, right? It's like if you need an advanced product like Adobe produces for Photoshop or for Illustrator or whatnot, it's not going to be cheap. It takes a lot of engineering to get it, and it's not going to go down. So gone are the days. We are completely gone. Gone are the days in SEO where it's super cheap or free. I'm sorry, guys. It's just the way that it is, because it takes so much engineering to build these AI tools, and you need the AI tools to stay competitive and to do this kind of thing. You're going to become, like Ryan's charging $5,000 a month for some customers, for crying out loud. That's a high ticket item. You got to think of SEO more like high-end designers or high-end consultants who need high-end software to do their high-end job. Get in on the bandwagon now. Our price for Keyword Spy right now, you can get the grandfathered price if you email me direct, joshbashinsky@gmail.com. I can get you the grandfathered price of only $144 a month, and that's grandfathered forever. The price will go up. AI will be doing more. It'll be doing your internal linking for you. It'll be doing your on-page, your page audits, your site audits for you. The AI consultant I'm building is just going to get smarter and smarter and just doing more and more SEO. And we're going to be moving into off-page SEO, and we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff for that. It's going to be a bigger honking piece of software like Photoshop or like Illustrator. The price isn't going to go down for these things. And I'm not just talking about my AI consultant, my AI SEO co-pilot. Everyone out there and their dog is going to try to build an SEO co-pilot, right? So mine's going to be better because I know how to do this better, both SEO and AI. And I'd love to prove it to you. Try Keyword Spy for free. Go to trykeywordspy.com for 2 weeks. Try it for free. No credit card needed. No email needed. Try keywordspy.com. Try it free. And you're going to see the grandfathered price is worth getting, guys. The grandfathered price is worth getting. Do not make the mistake of thinking it's going to go to free or cheap in that direction. It's like, look at it. This is true. It's going to be like Photoshop. It's going to be like Illustrator. Those prices have remained high and consistent, and they always will. Because of the engineering cost it takes for us and the intelligence it takes for us and the level of sophistication it takes for us to build this software, to stay at pace with what Google is doing. Google is the whip masters here. Google is to use the Lord of the Rings reference, Google is the Uruk-hai here. Google is the high ogre. Sorry, that was really nerdy. I apologize. But Google is the taskmaster here, whipping the backs of us, making us go to the beat of their drum, making us make AIs to do the SEO, to rank, because they made it so hard. And they will continue to make it harder. They're not going to make it easier. They're going to make it harder. So you need AI. So you can survive. You can do it. You can be an SEO. SEO isn't dead. But it's going to become like being a high-end designer that needs to use Photoshop or Illustrator. You're going to need to use Keyword Spy or some SEO AI co-pilot to do your work, and they're not all created equal. They're not all created equal. So I would go to trykeywordspy.com and try it free for 2 weeks. Try it on your pages. I guarantee you're going to see ranking boosts. You could see them in as short as 2 weeks if you follow all of our recommendations and if you do it properly. All right, let's cross our fingers and hope that this high quality article is done here. Here we go. Boom, here it's done. Great. And it's we're still working out the kinks. That's another reason why we've got that pricing going on there. But you could see it's got the same H1 in here a whole bunch of times for some reason. I'm not really sure why that is. But you can delete those out. That's fine. That's why we make it a bigger article so you can delete portions of it out. But let's do let's check the scores while we're at it. So boom, perfect. That's what it did. It put a lot of keywords in there. That's what we want it to do. So now I'm using the Heat AI to check to see how helpful, how much experience it has in it, how much expertise in it, how much authority it has in it, how much trust it has in it. The average competitors we've checked are already at 68%. Our average competitors here are at 61% content. Now look, boom, look at this. Look at these super high scores for Heat. That's pretty impressive here, right?
Mm-hmm.
8s and 9s. 7 is the lowest you possibly got. That's what the high quality article does, is it bakes in the heat, baby. It bakes in the helpfulness. It bakes in the experience, the expertise, the authority, and the trust. You don't need to be a subject matter expert anymore. That's why AI is so good. Look at this Heat score. I'm so proud of that. 81%, like 12, 13% over your competitors. Crappy pages.
That's wicked.
That is pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome.
The 87 pointing down, is that saying that what's that number mean?
So that's the content score. That's the depth of the keywords. So that's how rich the keyword density, if you will, which you can't really take it as keyword density anymore. As you know, keyword density is not how they measure it anymore, but it is, you can think of it like that. It's the depth of the keywords, the amount of keywords we're using in the page.
Okay.
So that's the depth of the keywords there. And here we are in the quality of the page, the readability, the sentiment is good. Here's a score that matters tremendously for rankings. Average predictability length of words in a row. On average, we have 4.75 words. It is actually tokens, which are words pieces, but I'll just say words because it's easy to understand. We have 4.75 words in a row that would be out of the top 10 words that AI would have used to write a sentence. This is the best way of determining if it's AI content or not, or whether it's too predictable or not. Our competitors are at 4.3. Our stats show to rank number 1 or 2, you need to be at 4.1. So that means we need to come down 0.65. That's all. This needs to come down 0.65 to be within our green area. And if you're in our green area, that's where we can start to guarantee you will see the rankings we promised. As long as your site's not sick and doesn't have a major demotion or major penalty, or is brand new and has no other signals, you should be able to see you will definitely be able to see if you do a keyword discovery report and see how difficult it is first, you will definitely be able to get in around the spots that we were promising. And as I promised, it's already too many words that's because we want to cast a wide net. So you've got all the different information here to make it as helpful as possible. And then we start cutting it down from here to bring the words down and to get this score, which is this score is the important one and this score is the important one. And we start using the down arrows, the content reduce, the score reduce arrows after highlighting certain paragraphs to get these numbers down. So let's do that. So let's go through quickly here and edit it. So specialization. Let's do this. So these are bugs we're working out. This should have H2s built here.
Yeah, I bet you if you were to change those headers, the predictability would be fixed.
And the predictability would definitely get fixed as well. So what I need to do here is I need to go, okay, so if this messes up, what I will do here is I'll take this and I'll go here and say, give me a header for this section. Topic, divorce attorney, Calgary. Calgary, AB. I'll say divorce attorney in Calgary, Alberta, is what I'll say. I'll paste in the section. Okay, so boom. Stop generating. So here is the header I can use. And again, that will work very soon. that will not be, and this is H2 we want here probably. Boom. Seek let's do here other considerations when choosing a divorce attorney in Calgary, and I'll make that an H2, etc. Yada 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 yada. Okay, so this is the last one. We'll get rid of this. Boom, boom, and then we'll reprocess this. When we start getting rid of these things, you're going to see that number start to precipitously go down. This number is going to start to go down. And the word count is going to start to go down. Now, you might be like, Josh, why do you see the, we'll have to change a bit more for this to go down, but it'll go down. You might be like, Josh, why do you start at the bottom? Why do you start cutting off at the bottom? Because keywords at the top of the page are worth more than keywords at the bottom of the page. When Google scores a page, a little known pro tip is they score it from the top. Now, this has been known for 20 years, so this is not some secret that only my university knows, although my university has tested this and know it. You want keywords more at the top because a keyword here is worth 100% more than a keyword in the middle, for example. It's worth 50% more than here, and it's worth 100% more than keywords here. So how would I get these numbers further down? What I'll do is I will highlight those words, put scores down, and replace it. And I will highlight this list and say replace it. And this is super easy. AI can easily just edit your article like this. Boom. It'll take all that stuff, put it into a paragraph. Boom. Like so. And I'll actually do it again. I will actually say, I can say get rid of this.
Oh, they added a ordered list. I see.
Yeah, it or added an ordered list. It can do that sometimes. I will say get rid of these things.
That's fine.
Don't.
Still quicker than writing it all.
Yep, definitely quicker than writing it all. And I don't have to be a subject matter expert to do it. Boom, like that. And I can say rewrite it again. And it's thinking about it. So replace, boom. Oh, wow. It made more. Sometimes it makes more. As long as this is vaguely going down, that's fine. And it doesn't often make more. Boom. So that didn't go down. So we want to try that again. It's like, no, reduce this, please. Thank you. So another reason why we're still offering the grandfather price, of course, is because we're working through the kinks. There we go. So that's almost in line where we want to be. Now this content score is perfect. So as you can see, you just keep going through. Make sure you check for stuff like this. Firm name. That can happen as well, right? That can happen. You can also decide you're going to get rid of certain very things. Like this one you can get rid of as well. Some of these paragraphs are superfluous. You don't really need them. Anyway, it's very important to get this number down and this number down. Now, this was a number I was mentioning earlier that because of AI, we've been able to see statistically very strongly up to a 12-point boost of being in this green zone of 51 to 61. This is where you need to be. You see these numbers are coming down now. They're getting close to 4.1. 4.6 is not bad. Competitors are at 4.3. They're a little bit more predictable. Our words are a little bit less. That's fine. We could reduce this a little bit more. I could reduce that as well. But the important thing here is you want to be within this 51 to 61%. If your average is at 61, that's where you're going to see the best possible bang for your buck in terms of ranking boosts. And we went down 1 point. We can try doing that again. We can just keep pressing buttons until we get it down. Anyway, so you just keep pressing the buttons until you get it down. Keep removing content until you get it down. It's going to try doing some different stuff. The more you press these buttons here. It really likes that sentence the way it is. These sentences the way it is. It's like, no, this is where the helpfulness is. I don't want to get rid of it, stupid human. And the AI kind of tries to keep you from shooting yourself in the foot. But at the end of the day, it is important to get this score between 51 and 61, even more so than getting this one down here. Oh, I've got another list here. Oh, okay, I could get this one down here. I can reduce this one here as well. So while I'm just pressing these buttons here, Ryan, any final points that you think we should cover when it comes to legal SEO that we might not have talked about?
Let me think for a second. Anything that's kind of like new and timely. I've definitely found that sometimes in local SEO with law firms, this might not be related to like writing content, but each lawyer might have like their own GMB. And sometimes they have like their own mini sites and they're all pointed at the same law firm building. And that might look like a spammy thing to Google because there's like 6 GMBs with different sites. And I'm finding it helps a lot when you clear up all that directions and properly architect it to show that it's all the same company. Um, that's really about fair to say lasting things with law SEO, but it's more of a maps thing as opposed to just rating and the AI creation.
Yeah, awesome. I was half paying attention, so I apologize. Yeah, I mean, we haven't even talked about the GMB stuff. How can AI is there a way that AI right now is helping with getting the GMBs sorted out?
Yeah, so like all these kind of like specialty terms that we're talking about, the entity terms or the engrams and that, I'm working those into like GMB posts into the service sections of them to further kind of help build out that knowledge base. Um, and so that's how I'm like, we'll use AI tools to pull out these terms. We'll use them in creating those. I'm assuming you could probably use AI to help create those posts, although we still have our editor go through and edit them. We try and sprinkle those core terms around all the assets that we control for the client to really build that prominence of that they're doing that.
Awesome. Fantastic. You notice also here, so I've got it down basically to 62. That is pretty close.
So
That's probably close enough. So all I had to do was click some buttons. That was it. Took me took me only 20 minutes because I was also talking while I was doing it. SEO here is already done. The URL, the best URL. The AI selected the best URL. It selected the best possible title. It selected the best possible meta description. Another thing here to check is the number of EMQs you're allowed to use in the body, for example. I would use at least one. You're using one currently, so that's fine. Also, the amount of EMQs you're allowed to use in the different headings and whatnot, or at least what your competitors are doing, so that you would go back in here and you would just break the EMQ in the H1 here, and you can just make sure that the final SEO tweaks to make sure that your numbers are where they're supposed to be. Your competitors have 4 H2s and 7 H3s and 3 H4s on average. Keeping that in mind for your structure would be good. And the numbers are now getting much closer to where they're supposed to be. Also, sometimes the formatting throws this off. If I take this and throw this into beta tools, and I go into the AI detector, which is very soon going to be worked here into, very soon will be worked here into the editor. It is on the editor in staging. You can actually see where the repetitive words are if you analyze the text. It'll show you in color, and with these color settings, the red and the orange are the ones. I'm colorblind. That looks red and orange to me. This is where you need to see you could see the ones that are causing a problem. It's actually only 4.6 here, 4.56. And it seems mostly human written to our AI detector because, again, of our high quality article. It's not. It's AI written. We don't have a team of people in there writing really fast. And other AI detectors would detect it. But that's fine. It doesn't matter if it's AI detectable. What matters is this statistic of getting this down to 4.1. And I could see here, and I can start clicking and seeing the tokens that they would be using in terms of the top K. So I could be like, in family law matters. A team of experienced lawyers specializes in family law. Period. We are dedicated to providing. We are dedicated to providing our clients with the best possible outcome. That's a very predictable sentence, right?
yeah,
We are always dedicated to providing our clients the absolute best.
you can always say like getting our clients to the best outcome.
Yeah, we can do that. Analyze the text again.
Yeah. While we're on the law stuff, technically, if we were editing this in our agency, we'd have to remove the word specializes in family law. We'd have to put like with a focus in family law or provides family law services.
Oh yeah,
That's just more of like the compliance, and you can't say that you're specialized in guarantee and all that.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. There we go. Yeah, this is just the beta tools here. So you would edit bits of it here, and you would be able to take it back in. This AI detector is after we work the kinks out, it will be in the editor as well. So, like I said, we are in beta. There's the couple little bugs that are here and there, but at the end of the day, it's much easier to do this to get it going than to write it yourself. So that's just a taste of what's coming down the pipe. I would highly recommend everybody get in on the beta testing that we're doing now. That's why we have the grandfathered pricing of 144 to help us find the bugs and to eliminate them. After that, we're going to be like Photoshop. We're going to be like Illustrator. It's going to be a higher end product. And that's every single AI is going to be like that. AI Copilot. It takes a lot of engineering to do it. So I would highly recommend that you think about getting in there now. Let me see if there's any final questions here. Ryan, is there anything else that you think you might wanna mention?
We covered a lot of stuff today. I would say again, if you're not quite jumped on the AI train yet, that try it out. Like make a test site if you were to throwing it into your practice right away, but it can really, in terms of an agency, help you operate way smoother. Allows you to systemize things easier with VAs, especially with a tool like Keyword Spy. It makes it really easy to make SOPs and scale up from there. So SEO tactics alone and ranking in that, using it will definitely let you do more with the team that you have now. So
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's just once you see the time it can save you. It's just there's no other way to do it for sure. All right, folks. Well, then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This has been the SEO plus AI show. Tune in next week where we're going to show you how to use AI to get the best out of your SEO. Like I said, AI is going to be the tool everyone's going to be using for everything pretty soon. SEO is where it's going to start. SEO is kind of on the foreground of where AI is going to start. Get it working for you now. Go to Try Keyword Spy. Try Keyword Spy for free for 2 weeks. No credit card needed. No email needed. You can try it for free, and I would get in that grandfather price sooner rather than later because Greg's the big meanie. He already wants to pull it away. You can email me. I'll give you the discount. Not a problem. But if you look on our website, it's already $244. Get the grandfathered price now and start supercharging your legal SEO and any other SEO you're doing. Thanks, Ryan, for being on the show.
thank you for having me.
It's been our pleasure. And let me see if I can figure out how to turn this damn thing off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And let me see. If you have any questions, email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com. That's JOSHB as in Bob, ACHY as in YouTube, and as in Nancy, SKI@gmail.com. Any SEO questions at all, I'd be happy to try to help you out. And I don't need to wish you good luck on the SERPs. Use SEO and crush the SERPs. Use AI for your SEO and crush the SERPs.